So there's no, I was told there'd be makeup and wardrobe person. That's not, it's not happening. Right, okay. Fuck's sake.
Kawasaki's Naked Z range is one of the pillars of the green brand from Japanland, and it all began in the early 70s with the mighty Z1, but now one of the core bikes on the Z list, so to speak, the Z800, is being replaced by a new model, the Z900. Power comes from a 948cc inline 4-cylinder engine. It's derived from the Z1000s and has a smaller bore size. It makes 125 horsepower at 9,500 RPM. That's 12 horsepower more than the Z800, and 72.72 pounds-foot of torque at 7,700 RPM. And the engine's paired with a short ratio 6-speed gearbox, so the first 5 gears are short and the 6th works almost like an overdrive, and it's also been given a new slip assist and slip clutch. It costs £8,249, so that means the new Z900 is more expensive than the new Suzuki GSS X S750, which costs £7,599, and the new Yamaha MT-09, which costs £7,799, although it is more powerful than both of those bikes by 10 and 9 horsepower respectively. Now, Kawasaki's designed the airbox of the Z900 to sound angry, and sure enough, it does give the Z900 a sense of excitement, character and urgency from the induction roar that spills out from under the 17-litre tank. And it works well with the short ratio gearbox to create a bike that beckoned to my inner hooligan. But in contrast to the scream from the airbox, the Z900's power is meted out smoothly and in a predictable fashion, and the engine is at its most exciting once the digital rev counter is sitting somewhere between 7 and 10,000 RPM. Now, you might expect the Z900 to have a bunch of rider aids, but ABS is about as technological as it gets for this bike. For the most part, I wasn't really bothered by the lack of traction control because the bike fuels sweetly and has a good throttle response, and if anything, it was kind of nice just to jump on a bike with an uncluttered switchgear, start it up and go without having to scrutinise menu options, traction settings, power modes, wheelie control and all that stuff. But then again, the new Suzuki GSS X S750 and the 2017 MT-09 both have traction control, and I know that if I was in the market for a middleweight bike like this, the cheaper, more tech-packed competition would definitely be tempting. Still, at least it means the Z900's LCD instrument panel is compact and unfussy. It features a gear position indicator and a shift light and is perfectly readable. One thing I noticed was that the clocks could be tilted up and down a little, although they aren't spec'd as being adjustable. But elsewhere, the Z900 seems really well put together with a high standard of finish, and the LED Z tail light is a really nice touch, plus the adjustable brake and clutch levers are a welcome addition. The engine's attitude is met with light, effortless handling and a really nice connection to the road courtesy of the 41mm upside down fork with rebound damping and preload adjustment and a horizontal backlink shock with the same range of adjustment. The standard suspension is pretty simple stuff, but it works well. A tad more rebound damping might have made the fork feel a bit more refined for my weight, but when it came to hurling the Z900 through a series of interlink bends, it was always light, stable and effortless to turn. And the rear was pretty good too, comfortable over bumps and undulations without feeling too bouncy, but again, perhaps a little bit more rebound damping would have helped for my weight. And it's a shame then that the back was consistently let down by the untrustworthy OE Dunlop rear tyre, which simply didn't offer consistent enough grip to properly match the willing chassis and suspension. I found that the bars are wide and really effective in tight stuff, so the Z900's performance on really twisty roads is matched once you're back in a built-up area. The seat's comfy enough, and at a friendly 795mm high, it's really easy to manage if you're lacking in the leg length department, a bit like me. Wind protection isn't great, but what do you expect? The front light unit directed wind blast up towards my neck area, but I didn't find it too strenuous at speed, although it's not a bike that I'd take touring unless I had a good aftermarket screen on it. And when it was time to cut speed, there's nothing flowery about the performance of the twin Nissin 4 pots and semi-floating 300mm pedal discs. Instead of savage bite, there's ample power and good feel through the adjustable lever, and I've no doubt that a slightly uprated set of pads would give it that sort of extra bite to make it a really good package. It's fair to say that the chassis, suspension, brakes and engine all work together to create a bike that handles and goes effortlessly with a lightness that, to look at, I wouldn't have immediately thought it had. Without question, the new Z900 feels like a great replacement for the Z800. It's simple, light and effective with smooth and exciting performance, and it's going to be really interesting to find out how it stacks up against the competition.